Hi, my name is Mallory, and today I'm going to be talking to you about premature babies and why touch is so important with a premature baby. But first, let me ask you, have you ever been around a premature baby? Do you even know what a premature baby is? Well, I have firsthand experienced prematurity. A premature baby is a baby that's born before 36 weeks gestation. There's also what is called a micropreemie, and a micropreemie is a baby that is born before 27 weeks gestation. My nephew was born at 26 weeks gestation. He only weighed 1 pound 12 ounces. It's really hard to fathom. My brother could take a wedding ring and slide it all the way up from the foot all the way up to his thigh. That's how tiny his legs were. His chest cavity was just the width of 2 fingers. It's really hard to imagine. Now, through all of this and through research, I've learned that touch is so vital and so important in a premature baby's life. Babies in the NICU are constantly poked on and prodded on, and they're constantly having IVs done and heels stuck and tubes stuck in their nose or stuck down their throat, or they're having to be handled roughly to stimulate their bodies because they forget to breathe. Now, none of that sounds very pleasant, especially to a brand new baby to this world. But through touch, just a gentle, calm touch, it can just instantly soothe a premature baby. When these babies get worked up in the NICU and they're being overstimulated and they're being poked on and prodded on and everything, their heart rates can increase, or their heart rates can even decrease, and they can have what they call bradycardia. Or sometimes they just forget to breathe. And when they forget to breathe, their oxygen saturation decreases. When you touch a premature child, it can help relieve those symptoms. It can help calm the child to let the baby know that it's okay. Not everything that is done here is painful. Not everything is going to hurt. Somebody is here, somebody loves you, and somebody is going to take care of you and nurture you. Now, not only does it have to do with calming a child, but it also has to do with the brain development. Brain development in a premature baby is kind of a tricky thing. The brain is supposed to develop, everything is supposed to develop on the inside of a mother's womb. Well, the brain needs special attention with a premature child. It's an extra delicate thing. Touch is the first sense that we mature as humans. So just imagine you don't have that touch developed, that sense developed whenever you're born like a full-term baby does. Just imagine how important it actually is. Studies have shown that young adults who were born premature are less likely to be hyperactive. They tend to be less aggressive and less impulsive. And it also shows that the ones who did have touch when they were in the NICU and developing and everything have a better memory and have better recollection of things that they have learned. There's different ways that touch can be done in the NICU. Not anybody can just go in and put their hands on a baby and instantly calm a baby. There are different protocols that different hospitals have, and one thing that hospitals do is what they call touch time. And touch time is a certain time that the hospital sets aside multiple times in a day. So depending on what the hospital allows, a mother, father, grandparent, friend, aunt, uncle, whatever the protocol may be, can go in and they can see the baby and they can let the baby hold their finger, or they can gently place their hand on the baby's back. Now, with touch time, especially in micro preemies, you have to be very gentle. You have to be very delicate. I know in my nephew's situation, we were never allowed to rub him because when they're born so early, everything, the nerves on the skin are super, super sensitive. And it can become painful for a premature baby to be rubbed. Not only can it be painful, but their skin is still so thin that their skin can actually rip. My nephew, I remember seeing him in the hospital, and it's almost like we could see through him. His skin seemed so thin and it was so delicate. It actually had a sticky feeling to it when we would gently touch him. So the best thing for us to do when we would see him is to let him hold our finger and to let him respond more to us. Now, there's also what's called kangaroo care. Kangaroo care is typically just for a mom or a dad or guardian to have with the baby. Kangaroo care is when the mom and dad lay the baby just bare skin to bare skin on their chest. Now, this allows the baby to feel mom's warmth or dad's warmth, or to feel the heartbeat, to feel the chest vibrations, to feel the vibrations of their breathing and their speaking. And it's just a great way for the baby to bond. And more so than just touching, it is a soothing thing for the baby. Now, there are cases where parents can't be with the babies. These babies are in the NICU for months at a time sometimes. And not everybody is able to take off work. You know, a lot of parents have to go back to work to be able to pay these bills and to be able to support their family. And so they just leave the baby at the hospital and they come to see him or her when they can. I couldn't imagine doing that. I couldn't imagine leaving my baby there. But what is awesome is the hospitals have volunteers, and the hospitals hire these volunteers to come in to fill the need and the void of those parents not being there for those babies. And those volunteers will go and they'll go to touch time, or they'll hold the babies whenever they can be held. Sometimes you're not able to hold them because they're too little and too delicate and too fragile. But in a lot of cases you can. And those volunteers fill in for where the parents can't be at the time. Now, those volunteers understand and they know the importance that touch has on a baby. That touch is not just okay, somebody's here. It's part of the development. It's part of the maturity. It's part of this is going to help this baby grow and mature and hopefully be home quicker than the other babies who aren't lucky enough to have the touch that other babies in the NICU may have. So I just want you to remember this. I want you to take it to heart. And maybe this will be something, hopefully, you won't have to deal with. Hopefully, you never have to go through a prematurity delivery or anything. But if you do, hopefully that this is informative for you and has really informed you of how important touch can be, not only physically, but mentally, and not only for the baby, but even into adulthood, how it can affect what the development and how, your child or your loved one even acts as an adult based on how much touch was given to him or her in the NICU.